Progress. My RSeat S1 arrived yesterday, and I've been working on it overnight, building it. There's the button box mount, the massive shifter mount that it comes with, massive arm that attaches to it. Hi, how you doing? Obviously I haven't mounted anything to it. I've just put it together. They never did send me my keyboard and mouse mat. So I shot them an email to see if they'll send me one, hopefully. I could still use it, obviously. I took my GT Omega seat. This is the XL seat for fatzos like myself. Took it right off of the other rig, which is still sitting there. Hasn't been completely disassembled yet. And put it on here. And the seat isn't actually... the seat doesn't line up. For anybody who's got a GT Omega seat, your seat runners, and you might notice that I still have the adjustment runner attached to it, so I got two runners for this sucker. This is just because I'm using part of the Extreme Sim Racing cockpit to mount it, because the seat will not match up. The width on the cockpit from RSeat is too wide to match up with the seat from GT Omega. They probably sell a bracket of some sort, but that's the bracket that came off of the Extreme Sim Racing one. So I got the two front bolts attached to hold it in place, but there's nothing in the back because they don't line up. The holes that they have will not line up with those holes from our seats. So I've got to do some drilling here in the back to get it to attach. No big deal. Should still work. You want to come in here too? What are you doing? But it's mostly attached. The keyboard arm is massive on this thing, but it's a lot more sturdy than the one that came with the Extreme Sim Racer, which always sagged when I leaned on it. There's some play, but let's see if I can get an actual picture of it when I rest my arm on it. There's a little bit of movement, but I'm putting some good weight on it. Whereas the one for the Extreme Sim Racer, it's pretty floppy. Kind of hard to show you, but it really just wobbles. It's so much wimpier than this thing. This thing's huge. This thing weighs a ton. It's getting covered with dog hair already. They've made a few changes to the design that I like. For one, on the arms that go to your wheel deck, they've welded in these pieces, for some extra support, and it makes it kind of look cool because they got the holes in it and everything. But one of the issues that it brings, because they didn't think about it apparently, see that bolt right there? This is what attaches that arm. There's no hole, and you've got very little space to work with. It took a little while, but it's doable. But all they had to do was drill a hole, cut a hole in here, just a little one, that you could fit your tool through, and it would have alleviated that problem completely. The finish, there's some imperfections here and there. and everywhere, mostly in locations that you're not even going to see. But I really just like everything about the design of this thing. I mean, like here you get this plate right under your seat. It kind of gives it like a finished look with some taper instead of just an empty hole. In most cockpits, there's nothing there. And another thing too, don't mind the piles of dog hair. He sheds a ton. And the same thing in the front of the cockpit, if we can see it. Up under here, there's a nice finished plate closing it off as well. You know, and it just adds a nice finishing touches to the rig itself. Makes it look nice. You know, kind of cuts down on some just boring straight edges. So for the moment, I gotta take that seat, the two front bolts out, drag the seat out, and drill a couple of holes. I got them marked. We'll see how this works. It's starting to rain a little bit outside, so got a table set up there outside and grab the drill and see what we can do. See ya!